Welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is episode 229. I'm Mox Born again. I have with me, as always, it's my angel.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
Not much. Well, we've got, let's first talk about what we do here. We talk about video games, movies, TV shows, comics, board games, kind of all faces of entertainment that we have, that we take part in. We like to talk about that stuff and share our experiences with you guys. we like to walk along sandy beaches.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, right? Right? No, not so much. No, so we've got E3 to talk about today, so it's going to be a pretty video game heavy show. That's all, and then we'll talk about Fear the Walking Dead's mid-season finale.
And catch up on Westworld, hopefully.
Oh, you want to talk about Westworld?
Well, not tonight.
No. I was going to say, because I'm like 3 episodes back.
And
so
I still haven't caught up to this most recent one either. So
right.
Yeah.
So we're, no Westworld tonight. I know we said that last week, but...
And probably the week prior.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, any hoot. So yeah, we're going to talk about... we're going to talk about not Fear. Let's get that off there. There we go. And it also helps if I start the recording for you. So welcome to episode 229. Really appreciate it.
Cover up on the screen, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Now I know what episode.
Now we know where episode we're on. We're streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/72DPI online, and also on Mixer. So if you are a Xbox One player, you can watch us on your Xbox. And then also on Facebook Live. So say hi to everybody on Facebook.
Hello, Facebook.
So, hey, what's going on, Missy? Yeah, she's not caught up on Walking Dead. We're not going to be talking about Walking Dead for quite a while. But at any rate, we got a lot to get into. So let's go ahead and just kind of jump right into it. So E3 was this past. Actually, I don't know if it's still going on or not. It started on Sunday with like Microsoft's press conference, and I think
they said
Bethesda was on there.
Who's the other developer that they said was not very exciting?
EA, Ubisoft.
Yeah, I think they were first.
And then we also saw heard from Square Enix, which apparently wasn't very good because they showed all their stuff during Microsoft's press conference, which is unfortunate. I don't know why you do that.
Right.
But at any rate, because I'm pretty sure those things are extremely expensive.
I would think so.
Yeah. So, anyway, the way this is going to work is I've got... Kotaku actually has a pretty good setup as far as, like, the actual show goes. They do, like, they've got a series where it says, what did, everything Microsoft showed, and they kind of break out all the trailers in order and stuff like that. And then they also have articles after that, kind of them either interviewing the developers or them like on the show floor, with the demos and things like that. So I feel like I'd say I have a lot of beef with Kotaku from time to time, but I feel like they do E3 really, really well. Minus the personal side of some of their political posts or whatever, which I don't come to their website for that garbage. And that's really where I take up arms with them or whatever, or have a problem with what they post. But I feel like their E3 content is spot on. So highly recommend you going there. We're going to basically be streaming stuff from there, so we'll be kind of going back and forth, kind of what we're talking about. So what is there anything in particular you would like to kick off with, so that I can kind of cue up the trailer?
Honestly, I kind of just glanced through. I didn't get a really good viewing of a lot of the stuff, and honestly, I feel like a lot of it is sequels to games that I've never played.
Okay. That's a fair point.
Why don't you...
Well, no, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, that's a fair point. There are a ton of sequels. I mean, you have everything from a new Fallout game coming out, new Elder Scrolls coming out, new Halo, which I'm sure you care about the Halo. You've played the Halo franchise.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think we even finished the last one, though.
Yeah, we haven't finished the story.
Is kind of...
It's not very good.
That's...
But the multiplayer is pretty solid.
I played maybe 10 games at the multiplayer.
Okay, well, Thanks for proving me wrong.
No, I'm not proving you wrong. I'm just saying
But there are there are a lot of what you call it Gears of War, another Gears of War, Kingdom Hearts. So how about this? How about we start with a game that's it doesn't it's first in its franchise. I don't know, franchise. What do they call them? IP.
An original title.
Original IP. So this is Cyberpunk. This has been kind of touted from on Microsoft's side, and I don't know if it's coming out for the other on the other platforms or not. But it's been one of those kind of hit or miss types of things. You hear about it, and then you don't hear about it for like months and months and months and months and months, and then finally shows up at E3. This is Cyberpunk 2077. And it's we didn't get any gameplay. All we got was a trailer. Essentially, it looks like, I mean, obviously it's very, very cyberpunk. I mean, the name does not leave anything to the imagination. I mean, it's definitely cyberpunk, but it was being compared to like The Witcher, which is a very story-driven series, and that's gone through several different sequels. It's a highly regarded PC title. My first impression was like, oh wow, this is like a futuristic GTA type of thing. Not quite like Crackdown, but like very gritty and combat centric.
Cyborg type stuff going on.
Like this guy's face, isn't it? His face. So this is kind of like the real first experience I've had with seeing the actual game or about the game. Like I've heard of it before, but I really didn't dive too far into it. But it looks like it's a lot of fun. It looks like there's going to be a ton of different environments. A huge overarching story that you're going to take part in. And if it's anything like The Witcher, there's different story arcs and different goals and different quests and things that you can go on. Not to mention this car looks pretty BA.
I feel like you don't like anything about the game. Like I just watch this, I'm like, okay, it could be a movie, it could be like that's it. Like I don't know what gameplay. To me, I don't, unless it's a game that you follow, like Uncharted series, right? When you pick up an Uncharted series, what it's going to play like. So seeing a trailer for that, okay, that's kind of cool. Where it's going to. But for something like this, where I have no idea.
But it's not a sequel, though.
Right, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, watching a trailer of a game, unless it's a sequel, just doesn't have any point unless I can see what the game is going to be and how it's going to be played.
Right, but I mean, I think the whole I like it because it's a new game. It's it's something that there isn't a lot of games in that space. There's obviously GTA clones and stuff like that, but they're in this type of world or whatever. I feel like,
well, and that's all very well and good, but if it's like a open world RPG in this world, that'd be cool for me. But if it's just like a shooter, then I'd be kind of like, I don't really care about it. I'd have to know what it is. They can't just show me a world and I'm like, oh yeah, that's
right.
awesome.
But The Witcher is an open world RPG, like a very.
I've never played The Witcher,
so The Witcher is a open world RPG where
how do they know it's like The Witcher?
That's what they said it says right there.
Well, that's what the person writing the article said, but how did he find that out?
It's being made by the people who made The Witcher.
But that doesn't mean it has to be it.
I understand. I understand that, but
sorry, I'm not trying to get argumentative.
It has all the same cues that it's it has different It looks like it has different factions. It's got a whole bunch of different environments. You've got like this cityscape. You've got this underground subway station type of thing. You've got you don't see much of a rural area or anything like that, but it seems like there's a lot there. I think you'd like it. I mean,
it could be a top-down strategy game for all I know.
It could be.
I mean,
it could be.
That's just my thing. I don't see much of a point in the trailer.
Just to be clear, is it sequels that you're looking for, or is it just games you're interested in?
No,
there's no Drake, so I don't care.
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. But they have to actually, if it's something that I'm not familiar with, I want to see gameplay to know what the heck it actually is.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
see a whole lot of point in just seeing a movie about a game when that
It's
could.
supposed to get you hype, though. That's kind of what E3 is, though.
But
Like,
it's not going to get me hyped if it's not a type of game that I like to play.
right? No, I understand that. I gotcha. And that's kind of that was one of the things that I touched on earlier was the main Kotaku videos, the press conferences are really to kind of to get you hyped for the people that are there, right? They're like, hey, this is a press conference about what you'll find at our booth, right? So, I know. So what they're trying to do is get these, thousands of people that are in these stadiums or to go to their, to their whichever, So they're like, okay, well, we're not going to show you everything because if we show you everything, you have no reason to come to the to our booths or whatever and try the games, which they still would, but I don't want to knock your phone off. But at any rate, so how about this? Let's play it. So this is a franchise that you enjoy, that you've enjoyed. Now, arguably, you've said you haven't played it recently.
You talking about Halo?
No.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. So this is I feel like this is a game that you can get excited about. Look at me begging you to play video games.
I know. I mean, I was super excited about the first one when it came out because at that point in my life, I think I had just played probably Final Fantasy 8 or maybe 10, probably 10. I think Titus was in it or something, maybe.
Yeah.
You always did like this world.
And I was really into Disney. So, and this is talking back like in my college
we don't
days.
have a bigger ship.
I never did. I suck at finishing RPGs. I never level up enough to actually be able to beat the final bosses. And then I have to go back and start over again. And then I get fed up because I've played the same game twice. So, although that's my favorite type of game because I like the story in it. So it's kind of a conundrum. But
Which with Kingdom Hearts, you'd think that'd be huge because there's so many different characters and so many different stories kind of colliding together. I mean, I've never played one of these games before, but I imagine
the first one was cute.
all these characters have their own story intermixed with each other. They're not just like, hey, let's put Toy Story's Buzz Lightyear with, Squall from Final Fantasy.
Kind of, yeah. And again, like I said, it's been 17 years since I've played.
So maybe it's a good time to come back. Maybe it's a good time to come back, see how your nostalgia, how well your nostalgia holds up, and how, I mean, graphically it looks amazing. And I think the one thing that I enjoy is them mixing real people with cartoon characters. You've got Jack Sparrow standing next to Donald Duck.
Yeah. And they do look good.
And then you, what was that, Hades? Which, now that we see Donald Duck here, he's a little bit different. He doesn't have like that, not grungy, that, gray filter over him. And then Frozen's in here. I mean,
I know, that does get me excited about having Frozen. And that's what, I did like about the original one was the worlds, going into the Disney worlds. Kind of like the Disney, what was that, Disney Infinity or something? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I kind of liked that aspect of it. Like I said, I feel like I would almost have to go back to the beginning and replay them. In order to know where I am, because it's an RPG. And it's like, it says Kingdom Hearts 3, but there's been like a bajillion Kingdom Hearts.
So
are
they cohesive stories? Like, is there an
over? It's the same little character that what's his name?
Liking the look.
Got the key sword.
And
I don't know. I have no idea.
They said it, and I knew it. Anyway, it's the same guy, so I would imagine the stories are like flow together.
Well, or there's always YouTube. You could YouTube Kingdom Hearts 2 and get the gist of what's going on. And
I have to go back to. I don't remember what one was about.
Okay,
honestly.
well then
I remember there's like these little shadow goblin-y guys. That's about it. But
this guy, he's got the key sword.
Is it Soren? Maybe something like that.
Soren? I don't know if it's Soren. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyhow. So
I know. Look, I'm just over here raining on your parade today.
I know, right? You're just.
I'm sorry.
Another game that's not gonna is a new IP, but from a developer that we've played before. This is from Remedy. They're responsible for Max Payne, Alan Wake, and Quantum Break. which we played Quantum Break, which was you never watched me play Quantum Break?
I don't remember it.
It was the one where you had like these.
Was it something like freezing time or
Yeah.
something? Maybe.
Yeah, there was like freezing time things or whatever, and it was one of those.
It rings a distant bell, like back in the far recesses of my mind.
Well, Microsoft kind of overhyped this. This is one of their big. It was one of their big E3 announcements or whatever, and this is going to shape the world or whatever. And there's going to be a story.
Right.
There's going to be like there's going to be
Episodic, right?
episodic content. You're going to play a level, and then you're going to see an episode, and then you're going to play a level, and it was like this huge thing. And it kind of, and I think one of the things that it kind of proves the TV formula of releasing an episode every week, and kind of debunks the Netflix strategy of we're going to just drop all the episodes on you at once, right? Because at least in my opinion, right, with Quantum Break, it was okay. I just played an hour's worth of game. Now I'm going to watch an hour video or whatever, and you're just going to binge through this whole thing. And before I know it, I've spent 8 hours in front of the television. Like I don't have time to kind of like with us when we watch like Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead or Westworld. We kind of break down what happens and kind of talk about it. With this, it's like you have to force yourself to take a break. And unfortunately, like they've sold it as an episodic, type of thing. Now this we kind of missed the whole thing, but it's kind of got a similar thing where instead of freezing time or whatever, you have more of a like telekinesis type of thing, so you can kind of control like different shards and stuff like that. But their games are always beautiful, and like storytelling is pretty good.
Alan Wake. I don't think I didn't play that either. Was that like the writer in that house?
Yeah. Yes. And like the darkness was coming. It was you had your flashlight or whatever, and there were like kind of like
the story was finishing itself or something.
Right. Right.
It's been a long time, but
that was another one that was very like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. You're gonna love it, kind of thing.
I remember. I don't really remember a whole lot about it, but I remember thinking it was interesting watching you, and the story of it kind of unfolding was interesting.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was all right for its time. If you go back and play it now, it probably wouldn't play it the same. Probably wouldn't age very well. I mean, the graphics were okay, but the gameplay of it wasn't very like engaging. Let's see here. And then we have... oh no, wrong one. My bad. There we go. So then we have Last of Us, which you did not play, but did you watch me play it? It was with
I do.
Ellie.
You were the guy who was taking the little girl who was immune, I think, to the zombie virus or something like that.
Correct.
And he was supposed to be taking her to some kind of safe place that ended up... Well, it's been a long time. Should I not say?
Yeah, go for it.
Didn't it end up not really being a safe place? Like it was a testing facility or something like that to test why she was infected, and you end up getting her out of there, and he and her end up trying to go and start a life somewhere else together or something. Right. Yeah.
So Sony showed this one. It's got some CG animations at the beginning or whatever, like
Ellie's
CG.
grown up.
Yep, she's she's a teenager now. They're at some type of
teens to 20s, yeah.
dance or something, I guess. I don't know.
Which apparently in the zombie apocalypse they can still do.
Just,
Tell me about it. And they got the twinkle lights working.
They do.
I mean, I can't get those working after 1 year. I don't know how they're still managing that after the zombie apocalypse has happened and how many years has gone by.
Right. Well, I think this, this is, she was probably what, like somewhere between
7 to 12?
7 to 12 early. So this is, about between 5 and 10 years later.
Right.
So, you're thinking, okay, you might have rebuilt society to somewhat, at least establish some type of power grid or something. So I don't think that's too far-fetched.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can't even get the Strand to work after the year.
You're saying that
from year to year, I can't get my Strand to work. Their Strand is still going strong.
So you're not worried about like
getting the power.
You're worried about like the actual lights working themselves.
Yes.
Maybe that's the first thing they did. Maybe like they're like, okay, once we get power up, the next thing we need to
The
do,
twinkle lights work.
we need to get a. We need to
Find all the spare bulbs.
Make a twinkle Christmas light plant.
Yeah.
We don't need water purification. We don't need to raise cattle. We need twinkly lights.
They've got a lot of them, and look how many strands they've got to have back there.
I'm glad we're so focused on this.
Sorry.
But, there is Kotaku did post their behind the scenes for this scene or whatever. There's a lot of like basically the whole scene is motion captured with their full suits with those little like identifier balls or whatever on them. So like it's really some really cool stuff if you get a chance to check it out. If you're interested at all in how these types of games and how this type of cinema is created, it's well worth a watch. I think there's some making of on the actual game disc too from The Last of Us, the original. So, so fair warning, there's about to be a kiss. This is the talk.
Kissing.
This is the talk of the show. How this is groundbreaking, and this is the best thing to come out of E3. And I just shake my head. I'm like, great.
It's kissing.
Like, it's kissing. Like. Fantastic. And this is what they opened their show with. Sonya opened their show with.
Is it?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Why is it unfortunate?
To me, it seems like, because we're downplaying it, right? We're saying, like, this really isn't a big deal. But I feel like
gameplay should be a big deal.
Gameplay should be a big deal. And this is what we're getting now. We're finally getting gameplay. And, like, you're putting this in front of everybody. And the thing is,
I think
like,
think
story-wise, like, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if it,
No,
I would
but
never
I
have
think
pegged her
I think
as...
it sets the scene for where she's grown up. They have the society going on, and now she's out. Like, I think it just sets the scene for where, like, the game has, like, where they have gone since the last game.
I don't know. I just feel like it should have been gameplay first instead of force feeding us this narrative. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
The gameplay wise looks,
And that kind of goes against what we said before, because I was not for the just trailer, and you were fine with the trailer.
well.
But when I wanted gameplay. But see, I think in this case,
Well, I'm
having the video is good because again, I haven't played this particular game, but a lot of people have,
right.
and they're aiming for people who've probably already, if you're going to play Last of Us 2, you probably played the first one.
Oh, right.
So they're giving us a little more story into where she is in her life at this point.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that this is the first thing that they opened up with, whereas Cyberpunk was the thing that they ended with on Microsoft's end. And they're like, hey, and also, by the way, we've got this to show you coming out sometime in the future. They don't know when. Whereas Last of Us, I'm pretty sure this is due out in 2018.
They still showed gameplay in the same trailer, like
I know.
2 minutes later.
Right, exactly. Okay, you win. So yeah. So a little bit more stealth missions and the combat
That's
coming
one thing
up.
that they mentioned on Kotaku was that instead of just crouch and run, it was the crouch prone run.
Right, yeah. So like you can see her, she's backing up underneath the foliage, and then she stands up and or crouches up and kind of walks backwards. The thing about this is there's no like on-screen prompts. Like you just do things. Like you'll see here where she switches weapons or whatever, and that's...
Well, this might not be the very first level either. I would hope that there would be a...
No, I'm saying it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a good thing. Like you don't have this giant A button sitting over top of this ledge. Like, oh, I guess I should probably go over there. Like, good thing I didn't think for myself and like, oh, going up high is a good idea.
So are these aren't zombies? What is she fighting out here?
I think these are people that are hunting her or something. I'm not 100% sure. There's some type of
So they're not
militia.
zombies.
But it looks like there's like alternate routes that you can take, so you're not always, you don't have to always go the same way. It seems like this could have been played out completely through stealth or whatever. But since she got seen right there, like now it's like now they're on to me.
I mean, even in gameplay, this almost looks like a video.
Mm-hmm. She picked up that dude's I think she picked up that dude's weapon. But it looks like, you know, like some of like the ammunition that she picks up for her bow or whatever is very like cinematic and very natural. Like she just doesn't find like 15 arrows sitting next to this burnt down car. You know, she'll later on in here, there's a girl that comes, an enemy that comes out that has a bow and arrow that she takes her down and picks up her arrows. So it seems like it's more natural, you know.
See, that's the thing that always surprises me. And it shows my age, I guess, but since I don't play a whole lot of games, honestly, I just don't play a whole lot of games anymore. Like there's usually like 1 or 2 titles that I have that I kind of stick to, just if I have the chance to play. But I'm so used to, like, when I played games a lot, you'd play and you'd have like a cutscene that might look like this,
right?
And then it would go back to the gameplay, like after almost like a loading screen,
right?
And just being able to seamlessly, without looking any different, jump from game to kind of like a little bit more cinematic to the game without really any. It still just, I guess, kind of amazes me how seamless
how far it's come.
Games are now, yeah.
Yep. So it looks gorgeous, like spot on. Oh, there's you got shot with the arrow. This is cool. Watch this. Pick up the bottle. Wham! Right in the face. And then use her as a bodyguard. So I personally, I think it looks pretty sweet. But
They in France? It looked like it said Merci in the back.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I guess it could be part of America. No, I couldn't. I don't know. Anyway.
So yeah. So that was. Then Spider-Man, new Spider-Man game coming out.
Looks very cartoony.
Oh, it looks good though. Looks really good. I'm very much looking forward to that. Let's see here. Microsoft, obviously they talked about Gears 5, which I'm not really too invested in that. The Dying Light 2. This game looks... Now, Dying Light 1, I was a little late to the party. Chase was the one that kind of turned me on to this game. It's like a parkour. It's got like the parkour of. Do you remember Mirror's Edge? So it's, you know, the run and jump, like trying to avoid damage or whatever. But it's set in the zombie apocalypse, and not only is there the zombie apocalypse, but there's like different clans and different human enemies and stuff like that. Or people are clashing essentially, and that's pretty much what everyone's kind of come to terms with. Is if the zombie apocalypse happens, you know, humanity at its core is going to be divided, and you know.
In the example we're
do you
about
feel like
to
zombies
show
are going to go?
our protagonist undertakes a mission for
goes
the
into
Peacekeepers, one of the
Walking
many
Dead a little
factions
bit,
active in the city.
There's been some Walking
They
Dead
want
news
you to
coming out.
negotiate
Walking
with two
Dead ratings have been
survivors who are
low.
controlling and hoarding a water supply.
Do you think once Walking Dead kind of tapers off, zombies will kind of be like
Let's say you
out
choose
of
to carry
fashion?
out the Peacekeepers'
You know,
orders.
the thing is, like when probably about 10 years ago, that discussion came up. It was with
After this, you'll start seeing a
when
significant
Call of
change in the
Duty
city.
Black Ops or whatever
As
really
access to the
started
water
with
supplies allowed the Peacekeepers
really
to
started
bring
like
stability
the
and
zombie
stability.
their zombie variant or
even
whatever,
running
and
water
you
for
know
the people
when
at
you had
street
like
level.
games like Dead Rising and
that
the
raises
zombies
them
were
and
a
allows you to
huge part
replenish your
going
energy on the
back
go.
about 10 years
But
ago,
there's a
and they were
cost to
saying like,
this.
oh yeah, we're kind of got the zombie
The key
fatigue
case
type of
a
thing, and they're going to
rigid
die off.
approach to law and order.
I don't think so. I just think
So
it's
while the streets may be safer, it's only
I just
safe
think
for
that
those who
they're,
side with them.
you know, an interesting type of enemy.
Get on
There's
their bad
different,
side.
way different takes that you can put on a zombie.
Now let's
Like
return to that moment
for
of choice.
for this,
Instead
for
of killing them, you choose to team up with
Dying
them
Light,
to
they've
supply
got
water
a
and
couple
supply
different
market.
zombies where like they're not a couple different. Their zombies get stronger at night, faster, stronger, more aggressive at night, and then during the day they're more kind of like the traditional like kind of slow and you know.
And
So
this is just a single decision.
I don't think it
One
would
out
taper
of hundreds
off.
you'll
I
have
don't
to
know.
make.
Okay.
What do you think so?
But it allows you to carve out your
don't
own
know.
world, your own city from the apocalypse.
Do you think do you have zombie fatigue?
Each player's game experience
Zombie
will be unique.
I feel
And
like
by
a
the
genre
way,
can get
this is
overdone.
just what happens in the day.
I'm not saying I still love
At
Walking
night,
Dead and
well,
all that,
Things
but
tend to get a lot
I just see that
darker.
there's a chance that maybe people are getting burnt out on it.
I can't remember when this is coming out. It doesn't have a date.
Nope, it doesn't.
That's unfortunate. But
So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has any opinions on that, but so you don't think zombies are going to go
I don't think so. I
out
think
of
it's
fashion?
a
I kind of think maybe.
it's a formidable enemy. I mean it scales well too. I think designers can really kind of create their own experience or whatever if they want you fighting against one zombie that's like the super boss thing, or if they want you fighting against like a horde, like, you know. So I think it's a formidable enemy, and it's really something that they can kind of mold into their own. And it kind of goes like, did society fall, or are we going the route of like Resident Evil, where it's kind of like oops, we kind of created the Walking Dead, we created the zombified people, we're bringing people back from the dead, like oops kind of thing. So I think there's a couple different variations they can go there. So I don't know. Let's see here. There's more. Is this Fallout? No, this is Metro. This is E3 gameplay trailer. Oh, yeah. So Crackdown 3 is coming out this year, so I wanted to show this one because I think it's this year.
I think I remember watching you play maybe the first one.
Welcome to Crackdown 3.
Wasn't like there was like all these buildings and there'd be like lights and you'd like go pick up a mission
The
or something
orbs
like
or
that.
whatever, like the agility orbs. It's really known for its agility orbs. Those are kind of like scattered throughout the city or whatever. And basically, if you got to one, it boosted your agility so you could jump higher, climb further, or
Didn't
whatever.
you have to like go pick up different missions in part of the cities
Yeah.
and go someplace and it was timed and okay.
Yep.
Again, watched you play, didn't.
Right. Open world, so I think you would like it. I mean, it's an open world shooter. It doesn't have much of a story. See, there's the orbs that they're talking about. We're talking about.
Then you need that fire.
No, not so much.
I don't know. I like you said, unless it's like a Drake or
Unless it's Drake. What if I said that guy's name is Drake?
no. Although I think I did see something about a Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Let's switch gears and talk about that.
And these bad guys just won't quit. They got
So Tomb Raider was at Microsoft. Well, I think they own it. Or maybe they don't own it.
No, so I think the last one I played was on a
Chris-
PS4.
Crystal Dynamics. Alright.
I thought I knew why I came here. I saw it, the end. It was so vivid. But now the truth feels further away than ever. I still have so many questions.
Which I want to see the film. I think the film looks pretty good. The one that's coming out. There's a new one. I think, well, you enjoyed the last one. The last Tomb Raider game.
Yeah, I like these type. I mean, and this is very much like a Drake as far as gameplay goes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's where Drake came from, was like this type of.
Yeah.
There was a void in this type of like action adventure type of game. And once Drake came into the play, and they're like, "Hey, people actually like these games. Maybe we should bring back the original Tomb Raiders." Hey, who would have thunk? She always seems to get caught in these like underwater like riptides or whatever. She gets really good at holding her breath, I imagine.
Just watching that makes me. I hate the idea of being underwater and drowning like that.
Mm-hmm. This will be a good one for sure.
I know that it's not practical.
Ew.
I know that it's hard to believe.
She's one with the jungle.
And the puzzle aspects are always fun too,
Oh yeah.
although frustrating sometimes.
You need to trust me.
Seems like she's got some inner turmoil.
Looks very similar. I mean, as far as graphics go to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like I played the last one on a PlayStation. Like I feel like it was maybe PlayStation only.
I don't remember. I don't remember. So, anywho, so that's Tomb Raider. When does this come out? Is it going to tell us?
I don't know.
You wants to alter the course of humanity.
Everyone always wants to alter the course of humanity.
What would you
That's
do?
that's what the villains always want to do. Well, that's a badass scene right there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Oh, no date? Oh, there you go. September 14th. Okay, there you go.
This year or next
Yeah,
year?
this year.
Oh.
There you go.
Awesome.
So it's not too far off.
So I'll get that for Sawyer's birthday.
Okay. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm
As long as I get to play it.
I'm teasing.
So yeah, so that I mean, you've got the what is it? Life is Strange thing coming out.
Yeah, I played the first one. I didn't play the second.
Fallout 76 looks like it's gonna doesn't look like, 'cause I didn't see any gameplay. Sounds like it's gonna be really fun. From
A little different from the previous.
right, so they're doing more of a survival zombie game, kind of like with what we talked about with State of Decay 2. So Bethesda, please troubleshoot your game. Make sure I can go up and down ladders, and if I can't, don't put ladders in your game.
Well, they said it's going to be online,
Online only.
and it looked like it was going to be base building. Is that what they read? Is that what I read in here? Something about base building?
Yeah, base building, picking resource management, stuff like that. Sort of like Rust or Ark. I'm not sure what those. I think Ark is a PlayStation 4 game. So should be fun. I mean, it's Fallout. That's always fun. What else is there?
I liked the stories of Fallout 3 and 4, though.
Mm-hmm. So.
And the twists and things that came about.
So yeah, so then Bethesda is going to make a ton of money in the next 2 years. They've got Rage 2 coming out, Doom, Prey DLC, which Prey isn't really a big thing, but still. Wolfenstein, Fallout, and then Elder Scrolls. And then they've got this new Starfield thing, which there's some crackpot theories, some conspiracy theorists that think that Oblivion and the Elder Scrolls series and Fallout and this Starfield are all part of the same universe. They're just at different eras of the world. I could kind of see that, like ancient Rome and then current day or whatever, and then Starfield is apparently way in the future, like way in the future. So
Okay.
I don't know. And then the
You
other
said Elder Scrolls?
yeah, Elder Scrolls,
But isn't there a lot of like supernaturally stuff in those?
like dragons and stuff. Yeah,
Not dragons. There was something about the portal in Oblivion. There was something about portals.
The
and-
Oblivion portal. Yeah. What?
But Fallout's more like taking place in our world.
Well, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't know. That's why it's a crackpot theory.
Yeah,
There are
to
some.
me, I don't know about that because, like I said, Fallout, the last was the last one or the one before, like was in DC,
Yeah, that was Fallout 3.
and it's like the same structures and things that we have now, and so it's very much about. I don't want to say it's realistic because it's like mutants caused by the nuclear, but I guess it could happen.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it couldn't, but
There's ghouls, and was there ogres in Fallout?
no, not ogres. Just like mutant type things.
Oh yeah,
caused
they're just mutant, like bigger mutant things.
Yeah, they haven't. I mean, they made a name for them, I'm sure, but
I thought they were called
everything
mutants.
maybe that could be it. But everything's basically just caused because of the nuclear crap.
Fallout.
Right.
So, okay. So that's anything else you want to talk about? I mean, Nintendo. The big thing to come out of Nintendo is
I don't think I saw Nintendo.
because theirs was today, I think, today or yesterday.
Ah.
The big thing to come out from Nintendo is there's a new Mario Party game coming, which they did have some interesting things with it, where you can put two Switches together, like lay them on the table, and you don't connect them like physically. You just put them next to each other, and somehow the game knows where they are. And like you can play like top-down party games or whatever. It seemed kind of neat. It's interesting. But the real big news was Smash Brothers Ultimate or Ultima or Unlimited or whatever is bringing back every single Smash character from all the previous iterations into this one. So that was pretty big news for Smash players. I've never played a Smash game in my life, so I really don't have, horse in the race. But more characters is always good. I mean, so.
Wasn't there speculation or something about Xbox having a new console coming out?
Yeah, they talked about they're working on the new console. I mean,
They're always working on a new console.
Yeah,
I mean,
you would be nuts.
I don't think they ever stop.
Right, you'd be nuts to think that they stop doing that kind of thing or whatever. It's weird because
it's
they're
just getting closer.
Right, it's just getting closer, and they're like, I mean, they just came out the Xbox One X, so that's like kind of like the in between. The X. They're kind of doing like the phone thing, right? You've got the iPhone 10, and then you'll have the iPhone 10s, and then you'll have the iPhone 11, and then you'll have the iPhone 11s.
I mean, the Wii came out with the Wii U.
Right, which was a failure.
And then the Switch.
Right.
Which is a different console. The Wii was originally out, like a year or two before the PlayStation?
I don't know the dates.
Xbox. But I feel like they've been coming out like a year or two ahead of the Xbox and PS4. So if the Switch came out last year, it would make sense that it would start to.
Yeah, but you'd be nuts not to think that they're. I mean, Sony's probably in the same boat. That
Yeah, they're just
developing
waiting a little
their
bit closer to announce it.
The other thing that was announced but is not, they didn't have any gameplay. They just showed a logo, and that kind of makes me happy. Is Battletoads on at Microsoft's press conference? This is massive for several different reasons. Like this game is probably one of the hardest games that I've ever played in my life, but one of the games I spent the most time playing as a child.
I've never played it.
Oh my god!
I don't know a thing about it.
If we can, I still have my copy of it. If we could track down a regular Nintendo, yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's one of those games where there's no save points. You got 3 lives, and if you can't gain, you can gain more lives. But when you run out, you're done. You're done. So, you want to talk about Fear?
Oh, I suppose
Real
we can.
quick. All right, so we're going to talk about Fear, The Walking Dead.
Warning.
So spoiler warning.
This is the mid-season finale,
Right,
of season 4.
right, and we're supposed to talk about this mid-season finale thing, and why it's terrible.
We are.
Well, yeah, Squall mentioned it on Facebook. He's like, "Can we please talk about why?"
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it.
Mid-season, or the term mid-season finale.
Well, they didn't used to do that. They used to just do like a full run of however many episodes a season would normally have, like 16 or 12 or something. I don't know when they started this mid-season finale thing. Like it seems to be a fairly new. Yeah, the late 90s.
Yeah. So from the research that I could do, that I did today, it basically just the short version of it is it just extends the series out longer is what they're looking to do, and to me, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because like you've got like this issue where people are like, what?
I'm just trying to scroll down to read
Oh.
this article.
Sorry, I've got so like they were talking about how it extends the life of the series or whatever, and it keeps people engaged, which I beg to differ. I don't really think it does keep people engaged, but I can see it both sides. I can see the one side where if we put all the episodes back to back to back to back, you might eventually get burnt out. This gives you an opportunity to kind of like put a real big bullet exclamation point in the middle of the season, get people ramped up, and then come back and I don't know. I don't like the mid-season finale thing.
I mean, I understand doing it. I understand like taking a finale during the summer, just because you get people going on vacations. You've got people aren't always sitting at home able to watch TV. So I understand almost taking a summer break from television shows.
Okay.
Just because.
Just timing wise.
Right. I mean, your viewers may not really be able to. They might be outside doing stuff.
And maybe that's something
vacations.
too. Maybe that's something that if you were to look into a little bit further, maybe viewership had gone down. Maybe that's something that they saw, like, hey, when we put shows on it during this time of year, they always fall off.
Well, that's what it talks about, returning during like sweeps, which is they have this like sweeps week or whatever. And I remember hearing about this a long time ago too. They usually like all the TV shows usually like break out all their gun, like super exciting episodes or guest stars and so like
girl on girl kissing. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Okay, boy on boy kissing, is that okay? What? The shock value has to be there.
Bringing, I'm not gonna get into that conversation. Bringing in I guess bringing in finales twice a year might.
Yeah, I mean
they're like, oh, let's make you.
Yeah, like I said, like it gives them an opportunity to make a huge exclamation point at the end of their series, and then also in the middle of the series. So they have these two opportunities to make these sweeping changes to their story or whatever, to kind of turn the show on its side or whatever, or keep your audience guessing, or what they're really looking for is getting people talking about it, right? Like, oh my God, did you watch the mid-season finale? Like, I can't believe we got to wait 6 more months until we get to see the rest of it, right? So, all right, let's get into Fear the Walking Dead. This is episode 8. What was it called?
No one's gone till they're gone.
Yeah, no one's gone. I don't think they did the full thing.
Or maybe it is just no one's gone. Yeah. At any rate, and we said we weren't going to totally recap.
Right.
So, in an effort to not totally just recap this episode, I guess did you have any? We're going to assume that most people who are watching at this point of our show have seen this episode.
Right.
Did you have any high points? Anything that you were expecting from this episode that you did get or that you didn't get?
So going into I want to talk about the season so far, and like the departure from our normal caring, even the kids at this point were showing signs of hope and all that stuff.
In the current timeline. You're talking about in the current timeline.
Yes.
This whole season we've been taking place during a past timeline that's like all gold and happy and sunshiny, and then the blue, cold, uncaring current.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so the warm and fuzzy timeline, like we've gotten to this point where the kids and the adults and everybody is kind of happy, and we still have things that we have to do, killing zombies and finding food and all. Still the zombie apocalypse, and then you have like this polarizing difference with what's happening current, and like you said, even the cinematography is different, where the color palette of the shots is completely different. Mm-hmm. Everything's gray and dark blues and like grim, and it's going in a way it's kind of going back to earlier seasons where it's kind of fight for yourself. But the other thing that I took away from was like there's something drastically that's happened to our group that's made them like this. Even the kids are like, and I know they're not kids, but even they're high schoolers. They're just not themselves.
They're ready to kill on a drop of a head.
And not just kill zombies, they're ready to kill human beings. Like, even though, and it's not just like the warlords, they're ready to kill like the henchmen,
right?
Kid, like even
they came across Morgan. We had the crossover this season. Morgan's group, who happened to have this flag with numbers on it, and because they had this flag with numbers on it, they were ready to
exactly
shoot him in the face.
Exactly. And like so, the whole season I've been trying. They've been really in my opinion, hyping this whole like something terrible has happened, like, and like the personal vendetta against the vultures, like, and it's like, oh my god, they must have done something horrible. So we found out what the something horrible was, which I kind of take issue with, because I know the something horrible was them releasing all the thousands of zombies upon the diamond, which wasn't initially the plan. It wasn't Mel's original plan. Mel's original plan was, hey, we've seen your guys' before. You're gonna starve out. We're gonna come take your stuff and move to the next group.
And it didn't happen. Our group persevered.
Right.
And so they decided to leave. Brother went rogue.
Right. Exactly. And basically,
along with a few other helpers.
Right. And the thing is, we should have saw this coming, because why do these vultures trap these zombies like this? I mean, it kind of is conflicting if you think about it, right? So like you've got the one brother, Mel, who's like, okay, well, we're just going to wait you out because you're just going to lose, you're going to die of starvation, or you're going to, the zombies are going to get you. But then you have the brother who's like, okay, we're gonna capture all these zombies and put them up in these places for what?
Maybe obviously they, and my thinking is, they go in and they set up camp. They don't have a lot. It's not beneficial to them to leave the zombies out walking around. It's clearing a spot for them to kind of be able to ride their bicycle around and hang out while they wait and tailgate, essentially.
Okay,
so it could be a way for them and
to live their lifestyle,
right? And maybe the brother all along had the idea of using the zombies as a weapon, but maybe he didn't pose it that way to the rest of the group. Just
he's
we need to clean up around here so that we can hang out.
That's a really good point. That's actually a really good point. So,
so that might be one. Another one might be like, they were using it almost in the beginning. It seemed like it was almost a show of force too. Like, hey, we have all this stuff.
Oh, look what we can do.
Right. Like, we can round up these guys and not die. If we can do this, we can wait you out.
Right.
I don't know.
So they're kind of flexing their muscles, essentially.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
So kind of going back to your question, like the idea of this drastic change in our characters, in our group, really kind of had me wondering this whole time. And the problem I take with it is Madison died for no reason. Like, she risked her lives and Strand's lives to save Naomi, or June, or what was her third name? Laura. She risked her life for that. Like, and to me, like, I guess I don't understand why they stopped the car, first of all. And once they saw all the zombies, why didn't they continue driving the car? Like, hey, we probably should kind of get out of here.
Right. So initially, that's correct. I think she did. Once it got to that point, I think she did the only thing she could think of, which was lead and contain them.
Right.
Because she knew there was no way they were going to take them all down. Her kids were trapped in the car. They couldn't. I guess I also don't understand why they couldn't just plow through them. There were a lot of zombies.
There were a lot, and I don't know how well. They seemed like they were in like some type of like Jeep Cherokee or something like that.
I thought it was more of a small sedan.
No, I don't know what.
Maybe it was the Jeep. I don't know.
That was like a Cherokee or a Grand Cherokee or something like that. That had like a hatchback on the back or whatever. But at any rate, I don't. it wasn't meant for running, hordes of people
Thousands
over.
of people over.
Now, if they had like the SWAT car with the giant tractor tires, then yeah, that thing could definitely
Right.
take them out or whatever. But I
That's
think
true.
once you hit a couple or whatever, and
Well, right, and then you get cracks in your windshield or something, and then you're in there with. So I guess I get that. So I think she did. The only thing she could think to do was to
lead
the
them.
zombies away, which she did. They kind of did something similar back at the hotel, leading them down the dock, and she took.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
She kinda took that leap of
she
faith or
took
whatever.
that lead there, and she led them in there. And luckily, I mean, there was an escape plan for her, but they had this whole plan planned out from the beginning before she led them away. This time, she's like, "Oh yeah, I've led them before. I can lead them again." When she got in there, it's like, "Well, crap!" Like,
Right. She didn't really think that one through, and it cost her life. So, do you think she's actually dead? That seems to be another question
I don't
on
know.
the interwebs, because we didn't see her die.
We didn't, and the actual I think what she even says to them in the speaker is, "No one's gone till they're gone."
Right.
And that's the title episode, is "No One's Gone." And so in a way it almost makes me feel like they're trying to hint at something, but then again, I don't see how there's any possible way. I mean, they could pull a Glenn on us. I didn't
That's
think there
kinda
was
like-
any way that Glenn could survive,
Right.
but
And
it seemed like a good close. I mean, they wrote her name on the cassette tape. It just felt very closure. I mean, you had her talking to her kids and the speakers. So it just felt
right.
like good closure.
Yeah. I don't
Whereas
know.
Glenn was out there in the world with no one to see him die, no one to hear him die, So that to me was just a very
Well, it's not
unfulfilling
right.
death.
It's not the first time that they've done this either. I mean, you think about Judith, like when they were at the prison, they ended either the one episode or the season finale with
She wasn't in her car
she
seat.
wasn't in the car seat, and there's blood in the car seat.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so they've done this type of thing, the Glenn thing.
Laura, Naomi, we thought she was dead.
Morgan's another one where you see Morgan in episode 1 or 2, and then you never see him again. Like, well, I'm assuming he's dead. And then you see him again, and then he goes away again, and he comes back. Like, they tend to
Yeah.
do these things, but
I mean, it's entirely possible that she is alive, but I just feel like it was made very just you felt closure with it.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones you were like, "Oh my gosh, like if a Walker had walked away with Judith or something or got her and even Carol got the closure with Sophia. She got to see her as a zombie in the barn.
all right.
Now you were left a few episodes not knowing where the heck this girl was.
Right.
But I feel like we've got that closure with Madison. And
Yeah.
the kids have the closure now that they've been able to kind of kill all of the vultures and come to terms with Naomi and I mean
Which Morgan stepped up in a big way. Like, you
He
really
did.
kind of see his character kind of come out with, and it's, I love when he references the
other show.
the other show. Like,
Yeah.
as much as I prefer the other show versus this one, I love the fact that there's those tie-ins and,
He talks about how he was with a group of people before, and they said that he
Mm-hmm.
would end up with people again.
I didn't believe him, so I just kept walking, and
But
here I am.
standing between this gun and this stranger. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So-
He's grown a lot since we saw him leave the Alexandria area.
Right. So what do you think of the Naomi or June and Alicia, the girl? What do you think of their combative attitudes between you? Because clearly, I mean, obviously she's not going to
think
be
she just
shot
needs-
today.
No, and I think they're on okay terms now. I mean, Strand
Even at the campfire scene?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I mean, Strand even says you did what you thought you had to do.
right.
So I honestly I think they're cool. Hearing her story, she didn't cause anything. I mean,
Right.
she did say that she thought that
They were dead. Yeah.
right. And I guess the biggest qualm they had was that they thought she left, and walked out on them, which Yeah. And she thought that they had left. So it was basically a big misunderstanding. I think they understand that now. I think Alicia, having seen the video of her mom talking about what she wanted for her kids and who they were, before they even found the diamond, I think will have a big impact on her. Even if it didn't right away, because she still went and tried to kill Naomi after that. But I still think in the long run it'll have a big impact.
You think they're going to be able to forgive Charlie for what she did?
That's going to be a hard one.
I think that's where there's a lot of drama is going to come. I mean, because they already don't trust her at all.
Right.
Well, except for Morgan. I think Morgan's like the moral compass, and they can't kill him off. I mean, they just transferred him over, so I don't think they will. But
yeah, I think that's going to be hard. I mean, Charlie is still just a kid, but she is responsible for the death of the brother.
Right.
I mean, directly responsible. Granted, he just killed her caregiver. So it is, it's hard, but I don't know if they're going to have much of a choice.
So I think I have my timelines mixed up. When Nick killed the brother, that was after Madison had died. Okay, just making sure I got that straight. That's why he's in such a rage or whatever. And,
right.
And whatever the brother's name was, kind of gave him a look like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, type of thing.
I think he maybe thought that he got overrun. I honestly don't think that they thought they escaped.
Right. Either starved or tried to make an escape and didn't make it. Because there was a lot of zombies.
There's a lot of zombies.
So, okay. Was there anything else that...
I mean, honestly, if I was going to unleash those zombies, I probably would unleash them and then run. Like, I don't think I'd be staying put to watch what actually goes down.
Man, that's like the villain issue 101. Like, I'm going to set this elaborate trap that's going to kill you in 15 minutes. I'm going to leave now. And they don't actually watch the hero get killed. They walk away.
Right, but I don't think I'd want to stay that close to that many zombies to let myself get killed.
I don't know.
I mean, that sounds like a bad idea.
So what do you think for the second half of the season? What are you hoping for?
I don't know. I mean, the preview really kind of left me...
You mean the tornado zombies?
Yeah, and just it looks like Strand just looked a little crazy, saying like dragging this person out, saying he was cleaning house, and it seems like people are a little insane.
Right. Well, I mean,
and maybe it's because we're just not seeing the circumstances surrounding what they're doing, so maybe it just makes perfect sense, and he's just like joking around. But it just seemed very like.
Well, you got,
and maybe it was coming off of this super, super emotionally heavy episode that everybody maybe is acting a little lighthearted, and it made us feel like, what the heck is going on here?
Right.
But it just seemed, I'm not really understanding.
Well, you got to think about what people they lost, and it's really kind of like the sane people. Really, like I know, like Nick and Madison were two of the more sane people in the group.
That's hilarious to say that Nick is one of the more sane people when he started out as the drug addict,
right?
Had all these issues,
right? Thinking that he could be one with the zombies. Like, okay, dude,
right.
Calm down. But he grew into like the Farmer Nick type of role or whatever. Like, kind of kicked all that the bad stuff or whatever. But you really have like Morgan kind of leading the pack or whatever, kind of being, like I said, that moral compass or like the bolt that's holding the group together.
He's not always the most sane. He seems a lot more lucid right now than he ever has.
Right, but anything at any moment could make him snap, and that's kind of, you don't, I don't know, they really need that core leader like they had with Madison, and I don't think Strand's the one to give it to him. Strand's more of like he said, a drinking buddy. Like on talk, I think it was Talking Dead. He mentioned that him and Madison are like drinking buddies. And Alicia has proven that she can't control herself. Like, start shooting like a grenade launcher at someone that you don't know what happened. You're just like, you killed my mother, blah blah. You're part of them. Like, you don't know that, but you're trying to murder this person.
Lucy seems like she's always followed somebody stronger. Like
right.
The guy at the one village. Like she followed him.
The priest
and what
or
he
whatever,
wanted to do.
or preacher.
Yeah, and then she kind of followed Nick and what his... So I feel like she's not necessarily I don't feel like there's a real strong leadership type person among them.
Yeah, I don't think so
except
either.
for maybe at least in our original cast. I mean, John does well on his own, and he's very personable. But again, I don't see him giving direction.
What about Naomi?
Extremely.
What about June? I think June could fit that role.
She could, assuming she doesn't want to run.
Right. And I think after and maybe she comes into that role because after her saving John, after her befriending or Morgan befriends her, like basically stands up for her. Maybe she's like, you know what? Maybe I can stay with these guys. I could see her, the training she got at the FEMA camp or whatever.
Well, she was a nurse to begin with, too.
Right, exactly. So I feel like she could be a good leader. But you're right, as long as she doesn't run, which is not a good sign of a leader. Or a good trait for a leader to have.
I mean, that only pretty much leaves Althea. And we really have no idea.
I forgot of her.
And
I don't
really
think she's...
have no idea
She's kind of
who
more
she
of a...
is.
She's kind of more of a rogue.
Yeah, we really don't know anything
I
about
like
her.
that. I like that character. I don't see her as a leader, but I do like her as a character. Her character is really fascinating.
I'm hoping we get some backstory on her next half of the season.
I could see Strand pushing her for more stories. Like, you know what? We've given you all this information. We want to hear your story. And, like, take the camera and, like, plop down. Like, let's hear your story. Someone might want to hear this in the future. You're not looking for someone, but maybe someone's looking for you. I don't know.
Maybe
So.
she's recorded herself and they find a tape of it.
That's very likely. That would seem like something after she gets murdered or killed that they would play. Why would you say that?
I'm sorry.
They're like, dang it, she was a really
It
cool
just seems
person.
to me like something she would do, like
She's got it in
sit
her back
down,
pocket.
record herself.
She's got it in her pocket, and like when she gets shot, she's like, here, this is my story.
Well, let's stop talking about it so that we don't give them, because Walking Dead people are watching this.
Oh yeah,
any ideas?
All 47 of our subscribers. Yeah, exactly. All right, I think that's everything. You got anything else you want to chat about?
No, I'm good. I'm falling asleep actually.
All right. We need to download. Eli told me I need to download Fortnite on the Switch.
I know.
So we can play 3-player. He is so stoked about that.
I know.
So that was another thing that came out of E3 on the Switch. Fortnite. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/72DPI online. Get subscribed. Leave a comment. Tell us what you thought about this year's E3. What you liked, what you didn't like, what you're looking forward to. Was there too many sequels? Was there not enough that was coming out this year?
Not enough gameplay.
Right, too many trailers, not enough gameplay. I want to hear all about it. Kind of curious to see what your guys' responses are. And I'm kind of curious, what are your thoughts of the mid-season finale, and what are you looking forward to going into the next part of the season? When is it? Probably October-ish that we come back?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So
No, usually that's season start. That's when regular Walking Dead will come back.
No, I don't know. So at any rate, leave them in the comments. Kind of curious about it. We'll be back next Wednesday. About the 9 o'clock-ish, 10 o'clock-ish range. Keep an eye on the Twitter feed for when we go live. You can watch us on twitch.tv/72DPI online, and all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.